Story time about the stranger who kept fixing things in my apartment. The first time I knew something was wrong was when my broken bathroom light turned itself back on while I was at work. I lived alone in a small one-bedroom on the third floor of a pretty average brick building. Nothing fancy, no doorman, just a buzzer that half worked. The bathroom light had been flickering for weeks. That morning it finally died with a little pop. I jiggled the switch a few times, gave up, and made a mental note to email the landlord. When I got home that night and flipped the switch out of habit, the light came on. No flicker, bright as new. I actually smiled at first. I figured my landlord had sent someone in with the spare key while I was gone. Annoying that no one told me, but not crazy. Then I noticed the email I'd typed to him still sitting in my drafts, unsent. I don't know why that made my stomach drop, but it did. I walked around the apartment, checking stupid little things. My front door was still locked, windows shut. Nothing looked disturbed. I told myself I must have sent a text I'd forgotten about, and forced myself to let it go. 2 days later, I came home to find my kitchen sink draining perfectly. That may not sound weird, but that sink had been clogging for months. I'd gotten used to the slow whirlpool. That night, the water disappeared in one smooth gulp. Under the sink, the trap was shiny, like it had been recently taken apart and put back together. Someone had wiped the dust off the pipe. This time I did email the landlord. He wrote back almost immediately. "No one's been in your unit. I'll schedule maintenance for the sink this week." I read that twice, then a third time. That night I pushed a chair under my front doorknob before bed. It was something my dad used to do in cheap motels. If someone opened the door, the chair would scrape and wake you up. Around 3 in the morning, I woke up anyway, heart pounding, convinced I'd heard something. The chair was still there when I checked. Door locked. Silence. I told myself I was being paranoid. I moved the chair back, crawled into bed, and eventually slept. The next morning, my bedroom window, which had always stuck halfway when I opened it, slid up smooth as butter. There was fresh lubricant on the track. My hands were shaking when I pulled it back down. That night, I decided to set a trap. I placed my cheap Bluetooth speaker on the hallway floor right in front of the bathroom and turned the volume all the way up. I opened a white noise app, set it to alarm siren, and connected it to my phone. If anything moved the speaker, I'd trigger the sound from my bedroom. I also took a clear strip of tape and ran it from the doorframe to the door, right above the deadbolt. If the door opened, the tape would tear. I didn't sleep much. Every creak of the building made me sit up. At some point, I must have dozed off, because the next thing I knew, my alarm was going off for work. I ran to the door. The tape was still intact. I exhaled, a long, shaky breath, and almost laughed at myself. I started to peel the tape off, already planning to tell a coworker the story and make fun of my own anxiety. That's when I saw the note on my kitchen table. A single-lined index card, right in the center. My cheap ballpoint pen laying next to it. In neat, careful handwriting, it said, "You sleep too light for that to work. I came in through the fire escape. Don't be scared. I'm just fixing what they won't. I didn't have a fire escape." Follow for more stories.